Well, welcome to Skating Unfiltered with Jazzy Foster and Coach Jeff. It has been a while, and it's not my fault.
Um, who said it was my fault?
I didn't say it was your fault. I'm just saying it was my fault. You've been gone. Like who goes? Wait a minute. When's the first time you went to China?
I went to China at the first week of August.
So, so since the first week of August to the last week of September, you went to China 2 times.
Yes, in different areas.
Okay, different parts of the country. Everybody was asking me home. They were like, "Well, why don't you just stay?" I said, "I
In
don't know."
China?
Yeah, well, that was the biggest question. Why don't you just stay?
I mean, it was an option, but I think just because we don't have the same
I said it was in a different part of the country, and they were like,
yeah,
"It
it
wasn't
is
like."
a different part of the country, but we don't always have like the same resources like some of the other skaters do to like, oh, well, we're gonna stay with this. Because some did stay. Some stayed over there the entire time. And they spent a couple of days traveling and then they went over to the track. But I don't think we all have like the same resources to do that entirely.
Now, if you had to do it again, would you stayed or you still come home?
I think I'd still come home. Yeah. Just because a lot of them Um, some of the people that stayed, even though they're from different countries, they like train together already, or some of them like are on the same like team, or whether it's like sponsorship team or whatever. And I was just kind of
The only
yeah.
reason I would have seen to stay is like if I went with you and I was like the coach, and then I could go to Worlds, and then of course then I wouldn't be the coach, and then but then your mom would have to fly, but then she'd have flew with her. She'd have been okay. I could see that
I mean, you
maybe.
could say the same thing 'cause a lot of like Colombia, they didn't stay. They went back and forth this
Yeah.
thing, and I don't think they were at opening ceremonies either. They flew around the same time we did.
Okay. Well, uh, I got like I got my little cheat sheet here, and I can't see if anybody comments, so you gotta take care of that kind of
George
stuff.
Warren says hi, Jeff and Jazzy.
Who?
George Warren.
Oh, okay. So,
Are you about to list out the events?
do I have what?
Are you about to list out the events?
You're asking me if you want me to list out the events.
I'm asking, are you going to?
Yeah, well, when I get to that part.
Well, because I already made a list. Like I made
Okay,
an
well,
actual
we can
list.
both do it if you miss something. I
No, that's
was
not what I meant. But I'll show you. Once you get to it, just let me know.
okay, so I do see some people saying something. I just see some people liking stuff. But anyway, so what'd you think about tell us about World Games. I mean, we all watched on I was going to say watched it on TV, but we watched it on our computers. So give us the recap.
No, it was definitely experience. I think it was bad. Like not to say the 2022 World Games was bad, but it was definitely a lot better in my opinion. You actually felt more of like this is close to like the Olympic level. Like this is the only thing right below it. And so that was definitely the really cool. The volunteers were absolutely amazing. Like they really treated you as like you are the star of the show, whether you're first or last or in the middle, whatever it was. So that was
So you got the treatment.
yeah, for sure.
Mm, mm. So I heard you even got the treatment at the airport.
Yeah, as soon as we get there, they had all the signs, and you had to follow them there. 'Cause we had something similar in when it was in Birmingham, but this was on a whole other level. Like the volunteers, basically, once they saw you, anything team like anything of your country, they were escorting you to where you needed to go. So it was really cool. We didn't stay in the main athletes village. We stayed in the second one, but it was still really cool. The gift shop was pretty cool too.
No. So and it was you and Patty Lazier. Patty was the coach.
Yes.
And you got and I know. So what did you think about your performance?
I think there were some areas of improvement. I think the 1,000 is always an area where I need to improve on because it's always, for me, it's a love-hate relationship with that race. But I think overall, my times in my races have improved a lot. I went from last year where I couldn't really stay, even in like easier heats, staying up with some of the top skaters, but now that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So.
Yeah, I did see. So now, w- w- how many times you get your picture taken?
Um, I don't know. I kind of lost count. I'd say like between like 10 to 15 times. That was more World Games. When we came to World Championships, because I was with my team more, it wasn't as much, but I was also, you could tell when they'd want a picture, but like you'd be in the middle of warming up or you're about to like get ready to practice. They really I think they really wanted like pictures when we were practicing, but at the time there were certain practices where I was like, I have to have my head on straight because I'm going to be running like the 200s to see how my times are there, what wheels I need to be wearing, like testing things. So not as much. There, when they really did want a picture, they will come find you. That has happened a little bit. That did happen at the World Championships. So yeah, but at World Games, I very much got a lot of pictures and was called Zendaya a lot.
So then you go to World, you skate, you're there for how many days were you there?
uh, World Games is like 10 to 11 days.
And who's your
Less.
roommate?
So my roommate was Leanne from the Netherlands.
Okay. So
Really.
how, go ahead.
I was saying she's really cool. She was really great. I think we were both nervous because I didn't know that we raced against each other originally when she did sprints and then she moved over to distance. She was like, I remember racing you in my first world championships in Colombia, and I was like, oh.
So then you
At the
were
time, that was
there.
known.
So when you got over there, you had to do the whole time thing. Was it harder the first time or harder the second time?
Neither time was hard when I flew over because I slept on the plane to try to like uh not have problems when I got there. It's just always when I come home I have the problem. Last time I didn't sleep like a certain time when I came home, so this time I tried to, but I feel like it just made it worse because then I didn't sleep for like 36 hours straight.
So you had to do the World Games and the World Championships inside of 30 days and travel to China twice.
Yes. So I'm reading the comment. Puckett says hi. Also, Puckett, did you see he tore?
Yeah, he tore something in his
Yes,
uh
praying for speedy recovery. His Achilles. That
yeah.
seen that. It's like other people that have torn it. Or he snapped it. It's bad. Like we.
I saw the post, but he didn't go into a lot of details. And because he's so positive all the time, you're thinking like, oh, okay, maybe just had a little. But then I heard later that it was a lot worse. So we definitely got to pray for him to have a good recovery, a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
I don't know because those are pretty depending on
Yeah.
how they happen or how severe they are. So, so as you go back, so I did get to see the World Championships, and I have I want you to give your opinion on World Championships, and then I'll kind of give my opinion, and then we just talk about it.
Okay, before George, so Vlad went to the World Championships. World Games is something that I went to before the World Championships. I, but it is really cool because there's not that many um, mom, son, daughter, father, like world team. There's only like I think like a few where it's like you have your parent and then the kid makes the team years later.
Well, actually, that's happening. Okay, you had this year. I'm trying to think. It's happening more and more now because
Yeah.
Jenny was on team, Abby was on team, or somebody else too that was. But explain how you qualify for the World Games. That's all because everybody always is confused about that.
So from what I was told, because even the way they said that I said it is wrong, but from what I was told, it's in the rules from your previous world championship qualifications, your best I think it's 3 or 4 races. Because you get so many points, but for those races. And technically, I missed it by 1 spot originally, but I believe Argentina decided not to go, so then that pushed me up to the next spot. Now, some people could say it's something completely different, but that was my understanding of it when I was talking to different skaters as well. It's your how you perform
Yeah,
in
I think
previous World Championships.
I
Which
think that
that was the case for in 2022 as well.
yeah, yeah,
However, in 2022, because we were the
host
host country, we already had our spots originally, but I already qualified my spot before it was even like, oh, we're the host country, whatever it is. But they messed
yeah.
that up too because they kind of like moved my ranking down to what I actually was in 2022. So,
It's kind of so people say, oh no, no, that's not how it goes, and I'm like, well, the rules are pretty clear. It's on World Skate, and when I read it, because I know that when we left Italy the last night, me and your mom told you you missed it by 1 spot,
yeah.
and we had already knew. We knew at the conclusion of the championships where you were. You missed by, So then when it came available, so I don't understand the whole because it's pretty clear, but because always people ask me, so hopefully in the future people will pay more attention to the
So,
world skate rules and then they'll be a little bit more knowledgeable.
so for people that want to know for the next World Games that comes up, how am I supposed to, qualify for it? It's going to be the 2028 World Championships that how you perform will qualify you for the 2029 World Games. Because
You'll
every
be
4 years as
you'll
well.
be you'll be old.
Well, I'll be 28 at that World Championships and then 29. George asks, what are my thoughts on when do you think the US will have a World Championships? Are you saying so there's 2 ways that question, like just in general, like we're all winning World Championships or we win the World Championships like Colombia is winning the World Championships?
Oh, so he's asking when an athlete will win. I thought he was asking when America would have a world championships, like they would
Well, I mean,
host it.
that's why it can be taken 2 ways, and I'll just answer both. I think if we keep building the programs that we have, I think it is possible. I mean, it's already you're seeing it with Jacob, Melton, Alicia McBride, Ryan, Dawson. Those, and there was Ashton last year. They all got medals. I feel like I'm missing someone who got a medal. 'Cause a lot of people got medals last year. But they're rebuilding, we're rebuilding the programs within the US, and I think that's a good thing. I think the only thing now is we're rebuilding these programs, but now we have to keep these skaters in these programs to help rebuild them, and that's the hard part, and that comes down to also the money of it, which is
Well, I do think that I looked at we last year we had a good world championships.
oh,
People
he said, when do you think the US will like host one?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I think that well, I'll talk about it too. I think that overall we did very well, especially people that moved up, uh, placing in the top half. And if you look at the times, and I think that has a lot to do with what we've done over the last couple years. We have 2 tracks in the United States that we have access to. We and a lot of people are going to Portugal, they're going to France, they're going to Germany, and they're going down to Colombia to compete. And now, yes, that is costly, but I think we're doing a lot more international racing. I know we have talked, we're going to go uh, do international racing next year, but it is hard because there is an expectation that everybody has to support American indoor racing. So it makes it very, very hard. People tend to get a little, oh, you're going here, going there. And I think you can do both. As far as having a championships, I think once uh, the road course in Milton is complete, either place uh, could have a championship because you know Pensacola is a major airport. Miami's a major airport, and there are hotels available in Pensacola. And because we drove from in China, it was it was about 20,
It's about
25 minute
25
drive.
drive, but always it was
Yeah,
there's been
so
places like when we were in Colombia, it was longer. Like the drive was longer.
I think that it's going to be possible. You know, it's going to be possible, and I think after when we went to Italy the first time, and that track was in a neighborhood, it's very
Yeah.
similar to Dave's track,
Actually,
very
Dave's track
similar.
has more parking than that.
Huh? Oh yeah. So
Like has more
I think
parking
it's
than that.
definitely possible. I think it's just definitely possible. We just have to get the logistics in place, and I bet that's going to be a huge undertaking. I would imagine someone would have to, you know, you'd have to get. There's got to be a hotel requirement number. I mean, you like to have so many rooms available. Okay, you're gonna have world championships, so there's got to be. We need this many rooms,
Hmm.
and they got to be within a certain area, and somebody's got to coordinate all that. So, I think it can be done, and I think it may happen because I think a lot of people love to come to America. They love to come to America and check it all out. Both places have a beach close by
Hmm.
that people can go access. They got the nightlife, they got the food, everything else. I definitely think it's possible, and I think it's going to happen because I think that the people are pushing in that direction. But I think that everything's looking good. I think that a lot of people are talking, a lot of other coaches, how they're training. I think the science is coming back to speed skating in America, and I think that's a good thing. And so I, I don't. What year, 5 years? I don't know. Once you have two tracks with two road courses, it's going to be pretty hard to say no.
Hmm.
It's going to be pretty hard to say no because then, of course, then you got to, have seating and all that other kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. You have to work on that. So, what did you think? I just want to change gears a little bit. Are you done talking about world? Do you want to talk about some more?
No, I think people get bored of me always talking about worlds because this is like my eighth one this year, which is to me kind of insane.
Well, it is the same. So, what did you think about? Okay, we've been talking about. I was going to bring this up. We talk about specialization, specialization.
Oh my
So,
goodness. I just had this full conversation today at practice.
so what do you think? Oh, so the guy from India, he wins the 1,000, right?
Hmm.
And then goes and turns around
Wins a marathon.
and wins the marathon. And you say what you want, and he won both of them. Like there was no controversy. The 1,000, he took off with a lap and a half to go, and nobody could catch him. And in the marathon, he just skated along the inside and just beat him. Now, come people can say they didn't know he was there. Well, that's their damn fault. But he
Yeah, that is
won.
very true. If you watch the video, you can see there are people that let up because they didn't realize he was there, and he just took full advantage of that.
Yeah, they're all looking to the right and everything, and he just said, "Look, see you." Just went to. Now, also at the same time, you look at the specialization of Italy and the specialization of Colombia, which is quite definite.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you can have, I guess you can do both. Both work. I guess if you don't have the opportunity to specialize, I guess you can't. But if you do, I guess you have that too.
I think
I
you also
mean,
have to look at the races, how that race was. If you put it on paper, it's like, well, that's insane. But then you also have to look how that race was raced. There was a point where there was a breakaway, but then they caught the breakaway. Now, if that breakaway would have stayed out, things could have been completely different. Um, I think some may have played it more safe than normal within that. I mean, you can look at the girls' side of it. I'm not saying it was slow. That's not it at all because I wasn't in it. But there were times where they were just coasting when you saw their video or when they went on the live
Well,
stream.
I think that we skated good. The boys skated good in the
I think
marathon.
strategically, very
You
much,
know,
yes.
I think Ryan, I think he was up there with the pack. On the girls' side, I think
Yeah, and he had to dodge some falls.
and then Tori and it was Tori, Page, Binley,
Emerson,
and
Page.
Emerson. They were all together with the pack too. They were all finished with the main pack. It wasn't like years past where they take off and we're just like, no,
Yeah.
we were there. So I mean, I watched it. It was a
Every
very
marathon is different though. Like some of them it's straight go, 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 go. Some are, all right, we're gonna chill to the end, make it a final sprint. Like you can like different you can't or let me also say, so you had the guy from India who won, but did you see who was also in the pack? Not the main, he was a little bit off the main pack, but that was like because he did like the end sprint killed him. Ricardo from Chile. He was still like he came in not even a minute or so after the main, or probably seconds even after the main pack, and he's a sprinter. Like he
so
does. I don't even know
so
if he's taking counts and stuff.
are you sorry you didn't? Are you saying you're sorry you didn't race it?
Nope, I'm not sorry. I didn't race him whatsoever.
Okay, I just want to be clarifying because I was to make
But like
sure.
I'm saying is always when you see the race on paper and when you, but it was still fast
Yeah.
because it was
Oh
faster.
yeah, the guys were under. Weren't the guys under an hour?
Yeah, it was faster than the Berlin Marathon. So
Yeah.
even the girls are faster than the Berlin Marathon for the girls. So, but they did say that track was pretty fast. And even just looking at it and watching, you could tell it was a pretty fast track.
Well, it was not. There wasn't like too many up and hills. You know what I mean? It
And there
was.
wasn't too many turns. It was like one,
Yeah.
you had the roundabout. There was one sharp turn, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So it was a very fast marathon course as well, which is again great. When you have like those sluggish courses, I think it kills your legs just a little bit more. And there were not any speed bumps like there was for my first marathon in China, which
And
that
you
was
couldn't
insane.
get. And you didn't get lost on this one.
Yeah, you really couldn't get lost on this one, which was great.
Yeah, you didn't get lost. So we're bring. So we, brought up. A lot of people. They had his. He got a big check when he got back to India, which is really good. Which also put a lot of. Why can't we do that in the United States? And
I don't think some
and
people like my comment where I said even our Olympic athletes don't get paid that much because like, well, it really isn't that much. And then I'm like, I think the Olympic athletes on how many medals? I think if it's gold, it's like 37,000. That's it.
but I think their money is. But they get when you get an Olympic medal, you got the endorsement, you got the TV rights,
That's
you got
if
to.
you do, because there are some
Yeah.
Olympic athletes, they've won gold and you don't hear of them anymore.
Well, I guess it depends on the sport, and I guess it depends on who their PR person
Yeah.
is and who markets them and
A
all
lot,
that
a
kind of
lot of their
stuff.
money is more from their endorsements and their marketing deals that they get. The money that they live off of. It's not really those medals that they
No, it's
win.
not the Olympic money. It's the it's not the Olympic money that made
Yeah.
the money of. It's what you do with the exposure,
Yes.
and I think that that's what people. I think that
I think
we.
that's also what's bringing down, not, I shouldn't say not bringing down the prestigiousness, but I think NIL has really brought down the prestigiousness of a lot of pro sports and a lot of Olympic sports because you can make the same amount of money as a college student as you can almost as an Olympic athlete and a pro player now.
Okay, you might want to explain that for people that you know.
Okay, so NIL is name, image, and likeness. Before, that was not allowed in college. It was very much actually who I can't remember exactly. He got his Heisman Trophy taken away because
Reggie Bush.
yes, basically because of name, image, and likeness. But I think they gave it back now. So basically, you're selling your name, your brand, for exposure, marketing. You can get sponsorships now in college. Before that was not allowed. I mean, you couldn't even before it was frowned upon if your coach bought you a toothbrush. Technically, that was against the rules. But now that's not the case. College players are getting paid. Some of them are getting paid more than your pro athletes now. So a lot of them, okay, I'm going to get paid in college. I'm going to get what I need to do, and then some of them are set. Some of them are making a lot of money. Even the lower level D2, D3 schools, there are athletes that are making more money than some people that have
Well,
every.
I think social media
That's a big
and
part.
monetizing everything. I think that our sport, um, we need to catch up. I think we're way behind in
I had
that
to catch
area.
up. I just put in for monetization for most of my
Yeah,
classes,
I know.
but
I
I
think,
also wasn't at the level to do it at the time because you have to have sometimes certain followers, so much engagements in a month. So that was you have to build it and then you can start making money with it.
yeah,
Or
I think that
put it
people,
for five.
everything changed because I know when I was skating at your level, I monetized my image in a totally different way than you do it today. When I was on World Team, I monetized my image through Xerox and what they were able to do for me for 2.5 years. And because a lot of people, very few people remember that because they're just not around. That was back in
Because
the
you old.
80s. Yeah, because I'm old.
Because you
But
old.
I
Like
was I
five
was
ish,
able,
you're old.
but yeah, but I was able to monetize in a way that was very good. And I had to do speeches and do appearances for Xerox and everything else. And I was in the Olympics job opportunities program. And actually, I was the first one from USA Roller Sports. They made a big deal at Nationals one year. I think it was in Indianapolis, and I was able to basically skate and keep my full salary for 2.5 years, and without using any of my vacation. But that took a lot of work, and I learned a lot through that. And some people, when I talk to them, like what you're doing, I said, well, it's a little different now with Jasmine because she has her channel. We didn't have internet. We'd have you basically had to promote yourself, and I think that we're behind in that. And when you try to help, I think people want to get involved in it, but we don't. Very few people know how to do it. I guess is the way to go. I think there almost needs to be a class for the athletes and race promoters and clinic promoters so they can actually monetize what they're doing. We're still kind of doing it the old way where, okay, we're going to have a meet and this is how much it costs and we hope you all come. But I think some people, what you're doing with the Emerald Coast and the Milton track down there and some of the stuff you've done for USA Roll Sports. But I do see there's some resistance because there's a lot of old fuddy duddies up in there that just don't understand it. So I think it's going to take some time. But social media is going to accelerate that. It's coming. It's going to come. And if you look at other sports, like I was telling you about Steffi Graf. Steffi Graf, she monetized herself. She's a tennis player. And I mean, she was a good tennis player, but she didn't win like, back to back Wimbledons and all this other kind of stuff. But she was able to monetize her image.
Well, you
And
can take, there's another two. So everybody knows Caitlin Clark within it. But there's these twins within basketball as well, still in college basketball. I don't think they're in the WNBA. They're still in college. And they're using their brand like name and image and everything. And they're not like they're good, but they're not like the best. They're not like Paige Beckers. They're not like Caitlin Clark. But they're making money off of their images with it. They're not the best. They're good. They're not the worst, but they're not
yeah,
the.
I like I said, and I've always said too, as far as coaches, a lot of coaches, you know, I think they should get paid, and I think they should get paid more, but I think they just don't understand. They need to understand, kind of how to get paid and how to negotiate with rinks. And I don't think we're at the point where you can, okay, I'm gonna be a coach and you can make a living. I don't think that is the case. But
Mhm.
like in my case, where okay, I'm retired, so I guess if I wanted to, I could, substitute, my income coaching because number one, I have the time. But I think what happens, some people try to do it now, and if you're trying to make a living coaching in your 30s, 40s, I think it's really going to hurt you when you become 50 and 60 versus if you do it the other way around and try to monetize your coaching maybe when you're 55 on up when you have the time and you can do it. So I think, you know, so it kind of that kind of whole thing, I put a post out there, about having some using American athletes, and I think some people took it the wrong way,
Well, it's
which I
something we were
which
talking about for a while.
yeah, well, I when we were at Worlds, well, actually, it's your idea, and then we were talking about with Dave because we have these kids that we're trying to, they're not going to get rich, but could we maybe help them out a little bit? I think some people misinterpreted what I was saying, and I try to apologize for it, but that's all you can do. Uh, by bringing in additional clinics like master's clinics, which actually, to be honest with you, I was sitting there we were talking about the kids under, well, we were 13 and under, and that's what we were talking about. And like bring them into Milton on a Thursday. They skate. They get 2 sessions on a Friday. Let them go to session at Weber Skate World Friday night, and then the parents could actually get together and talk with other parents about the struggles, the pluses and the minuses of the sport, and how they can. Because if you're going to these clinics, then you're obviously kind of committed. So, okay, what do I have to look forward to? If my child does make it to junior team, what am I looking to spend? So we're not just sitting there going, oh, guess what? Your kid is made junior world team. So, okay, so we need you to open up your checkbook and we need you to start writing checks. So we can prepare them for these championships so they can plan throughout the year because I think what happens is, you know, it's one of those we'll deal with it when we get there. And then what happens is, wow, this is a lot.
Mhm.
Just China was an expensive world. We had to get visas, and there was problems getting visas, and people were
That
paying
costs a lot.
$400 or $500 just to get visas. And
Mhm.
then to get the flights over there were astronomical, and we stayed for 3 weeks, and people go to school. I mean, we left on September 2nd, came back on the 24th. That's 3 weeks. Now, you need to go into your school district and say, hey, my kid needs three weeks off. Some people might, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Some schools will say, well, little Joey has not really had great attendance over the last couple of years, so I don't know if we can do this. Or maybe their grades are not where they're supposed to be, and little Sheila is not, I don't know if we can let her go. So to have that discussion on a Friday night, or maybe parents just want, I just want to rest. And then Saturdays, just talking about those types of things.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
never missed school unless I was really sick.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
all the stuff I thought about. He
well,
went to go to school the day after I got back from China. He originally told me I had the next day off to adjust. And he says, "Nope, you're going to school." Everybody else didn't have to go to school, and I had to go to school.
that was me.
Even though they already told the school I wasn't going to be there. But then he said, "Nope."
Oh, oh well. Then you're overachieving.
I was tired and grumpy. I almost switched half my
You know
schedule
what?
because of it.
I get it. Well, and actually, then I talked to, remember I talked to Derry and Camilo about Sprinters Clinic. And I'm still hoping that they do that, Sprinters Clinic. And then through the conversation, someone said, what about a master's clinic? There are a lot of skaters that want to skate the track, but they feel intimidated when they go to a regular clinic. And
Oh,
then and when you go to a regular clinic, the tendency is to kind of focus or lean towards the faster skaters. That's just a normal thing. And because these tracks that we have, we've got to utilize them and show people that there is some financial potential there. So maybe someone else will say, you know what, I think I might build a track.
Hmm.
Maybe they build a track in Texas, California, or Michigan. I mean, and they build a track, and then some of our better coaches, because a lot of our coaches take the scares, like Jay goes out of the country. He's doing his and I don't want to get ahead of myself. He's doing taking a group to Geisingen in October, and I just found out I was talking to Tom Atkinson at Worlds that Masters can go to that. I wasn't aware of that. It was primarily for the smaller ones, but now Masters can go there too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that. And they probably should contact, if they're interested, they should contact Jay, because I'm sure I don't, yeah, I'm sure he can still go. And but is to have additional clinics on top of the clinics that already happening, which I want to get to the clinics that we have, because there's one. I know you got a list too.
Hold
There's
on.
one.
I can bring it up.
Okay, so if you bring it up, and then and what Jimmy's doing, they just had their third race. They in Georgia. They've been averaging about Jimmy Blair. Uh, what it's called, the tripod, and they're averaging about 100 skaters showing up. Okay, I can't make this bigger. Oh yes, I can make it bigger. Oh, you're making it bigger. I thought it was me making it bigger.
No, so these are the events I have currently. If like more people have events to add to it, please let me know because I don't have everything. I don't have all the contact information. I'll post this later because it's like a Google Sheets. So you have the Endurance and Technique Clinic with world champion Kevin Lennis this weekend in Brian Piccolo Park, which is outdoors. And if you need more information, you can contact Patty Lazier on that.
Yep,
And then also this weekend is the Midwest Point Series, which I thought it was indoor and outdoor, but I just put indoor for now because I'm not completely sure because I thought that one was always like the first one was indoor.
yeah, I think they had like a change over there, because remember Chris was running that. I think now someone else is running it. So I think in the transition, I don't know if they're having indoor outdoor.
So I don't know. And then the next weekend is the Florida Heat 1 day road training clinic with Renee Hildegren. So that's in Ocala. That's outdoors. And then Gold Rush Challenge has their indoor invitational, I believe.
That's at the Concord rink. Oh, there's one more you forgot.
What?
October 5th, Vinton, Virginia, Mary Almond.
Okay, I did not have that one in there, so you're gonna have to send that to me. But and I'll add it before I post it.
And I think that's the other rink in Roanoke. I think it's where we used to have we had the Roanoke meet there for a while, but I think it's in Vinton. I saw that.
So I'll add that to it then. But this is what I have going until December.
And then you have the Miami
Yeah,
Marathon.
Florida Inline Skating Marathon, which is Sarasota. I have the website sign up if you want to. Then there's a Legends Training Clinic number 4, which is 12th to the 16th, which you already
Gypsy.
missed the early bird special. So now it instead of 75 is $100. It's an outdoor clinic. If you have any questions, to contact Gypsy Lucas. Then you have the Kentucky Thoroughbred Classic, which is November 27th through the 30th in Lexington, Kentucky, which is indoors. That's the race that I go to every year over Thanksgiving. There's also the Gate City Thanksgiving Classic, which is November 28th and 29th, which is Greensboro, North Carolina. And you can contact Mary Alman or Jody Peden for that. And then the last one is the Turkey Showdown, which is the first race of the Triple Crown Inline Race Series, which is November 28th to the 30th in Arlington, Texas. It's indoors. And I don't know who to contact for that one. I believe it's probably Andrew.
I think it's Andrew.
Okay.
It's supposed to be. I think it's at the DFW rink, I believe.
Okay.
And I
So
think
if
that
anybody
that
sees this and they need me to add information, message me or this Facebook page and we'll get it added.
so, like I said, so there's a lot going on, and a lot of people, oh, there's a lot going on. We're talk about that, and I said, well, it's a lot going on for us because we didn't get a break. But most people, the average skater, or a lot of skaters, they went to nationals, and that was it. So
They've been off
July
a lot.
July 11th to August 11th to September 11th, they're ready to race again. They're ready.
I was forgetting even going to practice today. I was like, oh my goodness, my legs.
Well, some people asked if you're going. I said no, she's on a mandatory break, and then I found out you went. I said, well, that's on her.
Well, I regretted it as I did
I
it.
said sometimes you need that mental break and whatever. And I think that, like I said, that's the science coming back to skating. I think like some of the things, and when you're sitting there with the parents, and we sat in the bus for 4 hours going from Beijing down to the venue, you get to talk about a lot of stuff. And you get to talk about it and think about it. And then when you're sitting, in the stands and people, everybody wants to get better. And, I've always said, these moves the last couple years by these two tracks, you know, Florida is going to be a hot spot. I really think so. We were at practice on Saturday, and a family from Texas
You
came
were.
in, and
Not me.
they're thinking about moving. They were asking, of course, because thinking about moving and want to know what to look for, job interviews. And I said,
I think that's also a good thing though, because then it's like, well, if there are more people that are more committed to the sport, they're out there. There are people that can be committed to the sport. We sometimes have to find them, but there are people that are like, this is like, it's not like our sport's not cool. It's just, it's small and it's hard to find, in my opinion.
well, I think and I think then it gets to people. There are coaches that some of the world team coaches. They're 55 plus, and they can you know do other coaching things. Maybe they're retired and they have extra time, so they can devote. They don't have jobs they got to rush home from to go, and they can train people like during the day and everything else. And also younger coaches that I always tell every time the joke I have with Camilo is hey, you know, I keep telling him you gotta move to Florida. And he just laughs at me. And because, it's just not him. He's got to convince a whole bunch of people to do that. But I think that there's going to be opportunities, just like out in Utah at the Oval. You have the main group that has access and then there's all these other coaches that have access
Mhm.
to the Oval that can rent the track, and that's how it funds itself. I mean, there are different tiers. You might rent it like once a week, or you might rent it twice a week. And so I think that what's going to happen is you're going to see there's going to be a change uh, that's going to happen, whether we like it or not. There's going to be uh, ups and downs. There's going to be people, things are going to happen, and people are going to take things the wrong way. But I think in the end, if everybody just keeps their cool, I think it's going to grow. I really feel that it will. I think it's going to be good for vendors. I think it's going to be good for a lot of people. And to be able, if you, for instance, if you can't go, if you don't have the resources to go out and do international racing in Germany or France or Colombia, you know what? You can come to Mount Brian Piccolo Park, and we're going to do a race down there because people do come in to Brian Piccolo Park and do come into Milton from out of the country to race. We just have to establish it, and there is going to be a conflict because I think there's going to be a pushback from some people in indoor because our organization is indoor based.
Hmm.
Hockey is indoor based. Artistic is indoor based. Roller derby is indoor based. Speed's indoor based. But that's just a natural thing. A lot of people just don't like change. But I do think that there's enough room for everybody.
Well, hockey
It,
played in the same area as we played. I mean, we skated for World Games,
yeah, and I think that a lot of people,
but it was indoors. But
well, I think that you're going to see that you know it brings back the discussion. A lot of people, should we have an indoor outdoor season? I tend to think we should, but I do understand the ups and the pluses and minuses. The pluses, yes, we get to skate indoor during the winter months. The only places that it's not really is in the southern part of the states where it's warm, and then we go outside, and everybody has an even chance to compete. The negative side, from the rink owner's standpoint, okay, I got a speed team, and
they only show up half the year.
they're not only show up half the year, I'm going to rent that space. But I do think in the evolution of time that you still would use indoor. I know I would. I would still go in. I would still go indoors. And it's the sun's not going to stay out every day. It's going to be raining some days and doing like that. So I think it can be worked out. I think that everybody, okay, when people make decisions, they go from one extreme to the other instead of kind of there's a happy medium. But we used to when you're skating indoors, if you're skating 3, 4 times a week, you had the advantage. Now with inlines, you can get away with 2 days a week because you can go skate 2 days outside and you can work on that kind of stuff. So the demand on the rink is not as strenuous as it used to be. You can get a Sunday morning. Nobody's renting a roller rink on a Sunday morning. And then you
Oh,
try,
there were some people.
uh, okay.
Ours would. People would where we are would rent the rinks on Sunday morning.
You talking about at our rink?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They used to have a church service in there at one point, and they
No.
do and about 11 o'clock. But
Okay.
8 o'clock to 10,
Yeah, okay,
seven
I
to
get that.
9, and nobody renting a rink.
Well, no, our practice used to be 10 to 12, and then they got moved.
Yeah, so a lot of people are not doing that. So I'm just saying that you can. There are definitely things that you can. Things are changing. You just got to go with the changes. You got Debbie Alpers out there. She got her big old team out there, 100 skaters. She don't even have the roller rink. So don't tell me it can't be done. You just have to, you just got to figure it out. But it's these changes. Like I said, we got these 2 tracks. Let's fill them up, and everybody can do their own thing. You could have a little progression here. Okay, we start with these little kids. You might get to the point. It'd be great if you got to the point where you had a 10 and under clinic and you had 50, 100 kids in there.
Mm.
And then they go to another clinic, and then they go to the endurance clinic. If they're having down at Brian Piccolo Park, they go to a legend clinic with the real fast guys. There's got to be a progression. I said, it's just got to have a plan. But I think it's gonna work out, and I think things are gonna be good. We talked about worlds. We talked about the races that were going on, the outdoor races. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. They are in Milton starting some races. The name of it
Rising
is
Star, I think.
Rising Star. Now, did they put the dates out for those yet?
Yeah, I have them on here. And so the first one is after Emerald Coast, so it's February 21st. That's a Saturday.
Yeah.
They're all on Saturdays. So look it up. When's February 21st?
So do they have the details? I mean, I've been gone, and I know I'm
I don't
sure
think
we're gonna be
details
helping out.
specifically yet, but they'll probably have most of the details completed before Emerald Coast. But the first one's February 21st. The second one is March 28th, and the third one is May 2nd.
And I know that we were very careful to make sure we weren't conflicting with any other races in Florida
Yes,
because we were on the South Florida Speed League call, so we make sure when they got their dates, they shouldn't compete. So
that's
everybody should be able to skate everywhere, and hopefully, and I know, you know, I'm up in PA here, and I got my truck back. Got Granddaddy's truck back,
Florida here.
and everything's all good. I went over to the rink today. I gotta go back over tomorrow. Oh, they had a pile. I got a lot of work to do, so I'll stay busy. And I skated practice. I'm skate practice tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm going over to the outdoor spot. I think I might take a break from that for a while.
Oh, is it boring?
No, it's not boring.
It's boring.
No, it's not boring. Not for me.
It's 100% boring. Like just the
I just love skating more than you. That's all.
no, it's just the area is so boring. Like I'll skate on the track, but even then, like by yourself, like this is a question I have. I know people train by themselves, but would you, if you had the opportunity, would you train with a group?
Oh yeah. But
That's why
sometimes,
I
but you know, for me, that was never an option. I mean, I had a job.
well, I have
Yeah,
the option now, thanks to you guys.
yeah, I had a job, and I went to school at night. So I just, I didn't really. That was it. It was Kmart, Kmart baby. That was the training facility back in the day. And so that's what we got to. I saw somebody left a comment, but I don't know.
No, it was a little bit ago.
Oh, I just see when they
It's a lot
let
of marketing and planning with the hotel industry when we were talking about for the World Championships.
Oh, I thought Michael left a comment.
No, I don't have that one.
Yeah.
I don't have that one.
Oh, or maybe somewhere else. I don't know.
Maybe it's on your own pages because you
Yeah, maybe
like
it's on my
every
other.
20 minutes and they're like, "Did you see this post?" I'm like, "Where? It's like 20 posts down. How am I supposed to see?" Facebook is
So,
not Twitter or X. Maybe you need to
so-
get a Twitter or an X just so
oh
like
no, I don't think the world's ready for that.
it's better than posting everything on Facebook half the time. And you probably
Mm.
have some people that actually like interact with it.
All right, well maybe you'll set me up, and maybe I'll go see. Your mom has what? Your mom has both of those, right?
No, mom has Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And she
But
only has it just to follow my son.
I think there's going to be a lot of racing and a lot of opportunities to race. And I think people just have to sit there because that was one of the big discussions amongst the parents. You got all these races, like like I said, we were kind of like the veteran parents there because it was your eighth. So the question, I get the two questions. I posted this on my Facebook page. I get two questions all the time from parents, especially parents who are new to it. The first one is always, is it worth it? That's the first question. Is it worth it? And I always answer yes. It is definitely worth it. I mean, I've been to so many, I've traveled so much, and those people work all their lives, and they retire, and or whatever, and they want to go on a big trip. And a lot of things happen. Sometimes they're too old, they can't even enjoy the trip because they worked all their life. Sometimes, one person passes away, they never get to do the trip. So the fact that we're able to travel with you and still travel with everybody else to go to these things is definitely a blessing. Uh, and not and to have Justin and his family, like they're going to where are they going? They're going to Hawaii for Christmas. So that's a good thing. The thing is like how, and then the next question is, well, how do you afford this thing? And I said that's a little bit more complicated, but there are some things that you can do, And I tried to, put some suggestions out there. Some people right away say, "Oh, it's too complicated. You can't do that. You can't do this. Can't do that." I think you can. And I think the fact that I'm doing it and have been doing it for years, I know it can be done. And I try to be polite on Facebook when people sit there and say, "Well, you can't do this, you can't do that." And I love it when people tell me I can't do something that I'm currently doing, because there are ways, putting worlds on a credit card is not a smart thing to do. It just isn't, because the cost of the trip's bad enough. Now you got to pay for it with 29%.
Mhm.
There are ways to do it, and the last couple years I've been doing it. I call up USA Roll Sports, and I give them a payment year round. Even when the trip's over, I start, saving up for the next one, and like, I guess, and hoping that I'm either even, or I only owe a couple bucks, or I get a refund. So there are ways to do it. The meets that you go to, you know, we used to, back in the day, we went to Roanoke. We never missed that. That was the big meet, and that was the determining meet, is if we were going to go to nationals or not. If we were in the mix, okay, probably we could go to nationals. If we weren't in the mix, maybe we need to wait another year. That shifted. Now it's obviously Emerald Coast, and not that the other meets are not, as good, but it just comes at a time of the year. If you're on track at that meet, and you're probably going to do very well, because Roanoke for years was bigger than nationals, and now Emerald Coast is bigger than nationals. That's just the way it is. So you have those opportunities to go to those go you had the opportunity to go to those events to see where you're stacked up. And everybody gets to skate. And now it's even more important because we have an open nationals. So if you had a strong region, and you had six people in a region that could make it out, back in the day, my day, three of them weren't even going. Well, those guys aren't making it. So, and then if you had a weak region, now we have an open nationals. It's a little bit different. Everybody can show up.
So if
And
everybody stayed in Florida, like Florida was the region, and then it's like, okay, only four of them from get to go, and you had like eight or
exactly.
seven.
Now all eight of them get to go. Everybody gets to go. So
But
if
then
that
those same eight, let's say they're the ones that are always in the finals. Like that's really hard to even try to go back to not having regionals anymore.
Well, regionals is, regionals is a numbers thing. I know a lot of people want to bring regionals back and as a qualifier, but you're going to have to get the numbers first, and you're going to have to make it uh, financially feasible for the rink to do it. That's number one, and you're going to have the numbers. And I think, you know what Jimmy's doing with his meets, uh, getting people into skating, and so they can skate. People have never skated before. I think the clinics down in Brian Piccolo, the clinics, what Gypsy's putting on, Patty's putting on, I think and if we put and the races that we're going to put on in Milton, where people can come and race, and they don't have to, okay, before you come race, you got to pay for this and pay for that and pay for this and pay for that. You could just come race. And then if you like it, and then you can continue the race. There are a lot of skating events. I posted I think they're called the Roller Vikings and Roller Fit. These big skating events are in New York, in Miami, in LA. They're huge. You can go look them up. We need to tap into those people. Hey, if we get 10% of them, say, hey, this is a great thing that you're doing here. You're skating and everything else. Hey, any of you want to go fast? And you have your business card out there and say, come check us out. We're not doing that. We're just sitting on our hands, hoping for somebody to contact us, and we got to go out. And people are doing that. Patty's looking down in Florida. I know Debbie's doing some things out in California. I know that when the track and the road course is we're not skating, that could be a venue for a whole bunch of things other than skating.
Mhm.
So, you know how my crazy mind is. I was like, we're gonna have a car show and we're gonna have a big race right in the middle of it. Yeah, you get the car show, you get bands, you got the barbecue, and then we're gonna do a skate race. Just come check this out. So I think that
Hi, Kurt.
say what? Oh,
Kurt
Kurt's on.
said hi.
Hey, so I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunity,
Um,
and I think the fact that people, are thinking outside the box, doing their own thing, is going to bring the organization back to the skater because they have to come back. They'll have to come back,
I don't
and
want
it's
to take you off topic, but I just want to tell Kurt this is my new favorite wheel. I put him up for practice tonight.
oh, that's the one you won Worlds, isn't it?
Yeah, these are the ones that wore all of Worlds. I would not take him off. Just saying.
Well, you better get another set because you know what's going to happen. So now, see, now what you did, you put that wheel out there. Now all of a sudden, they're going to be blowing up his phone over the next couple days
It's
saying, "I
the
want this wheel."
works.
Huh?
That's what annoys me because some people are like, "Well, we need this wheel right here, right now." And I'm like, "How do you think wheels get tested?" They get tested in the best place under racing scenarios. So that is what has happened. Now you take away the good, you take away the bad, and you build on it. Everybody just wants the wheel now, 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 now. You don't always, they don't sell the prototypes. You want to sell the finished product of it. Like
Well, like I said, now his
springs,
phone.
the 11 spokes, they had to be tested. Then the final product was sold eventually. Like,
I'm
you
just
don't,
saying.
you don't do it with other companies, do you?
I'm
Like
just
they always
saying.
post like here's the look, and then people are like, oh, I'm so excited, I can't wait. But then there's people that are like, especially if like the limited edition stuff, which is all the time. People sell limited edition stuff all the time.
Oh yeah, you get limited edition
There's
cars,
only
limited
so
edition
many.
Harleys, motorcycles. I mean, I want, I want the 50th anniversary Bont inline bearing press. I saw that at Worlds and I was going to buy it. And I asked Kim, I said, Kim, do you guys have one of these? It's gold. It's got bond. It's got 50th anniversary. It looks cool. I don't even want to. I think I'd have to buy two of them, to be honest with you. I buy two and I'll put one in my house
Mhm.
and like never take it out of the box. If I hope maybe it was in like a case or something. I put it in a case, and then the other one, then I would use that because I thought it was so cool. I mean, it's easy just to sit there and do like we always do with your wrenches and everything, but I just thought it was pretty neat. I was just looking at them because I was there. I had to buy my bag.
Yeah, he
My
bought a Tino bag, but he didn't get one for me. But he said I can use it when I travel
Yes,
international.
yeah. I bought a Taquino bag, and I tell you what, that's a cool bag.
I still like my TLTF bag. There's a lot of pockets in it.
Yeah, and I mean, got the rollers at the airport. I was just rolling around. I felt like I was.
It is
I
very
f-
convenient when you're in the airport traveling. I will say that.
yeah. So
But when
and
you're on
then,
small planes,
but
it's
that's what I want. I wanted some things from China to hang in my house. I bought a lot of chopsticks, and I bought the Tino bag. But I did want that bearing press. But then I was looking. Like I said, I hope that I think I'm gonna get two of them. I think they're like
fun.
50, depending. I've seen them $50, $75, but they're pretty cool looking, and they're like really sturdy. Like you could put it in your rink and bolt it to the. I'm not gonna do that. I would just have it at home. I don't think I'd ever take it to a meet because I'm afraid somebody steal it. But that was what else it up.
Taken at the airport.
Oh, and I got those banners, and you know what? You have them.
Yes, I do.
I didn't bring them home.
Nope, you did not. And I'm gonna hide them now.
Well, Dave said he wanted one, but it's funny. I just went up to the after when they started the marathon. I went up to the lady and said, "Hey,
What translation? No, you didn't say, hey, use your translation.
well, yeah, well, okay." I went to the lady. I said, "Hey, you think I can get the bat?" It was the one in front of the girls, and she goes, "Yeah, no problem." So after the girls left, I went over there and she talked to these guys and they were showing me my bag. And here, I thought I only got one.
You got
When I got
both.
back to the
I
hotel,
know. I knew you had both because it was that was too big for it just to be one.
so because usually I get like a banner, and I was like, nah, I can't get that. And you got
I
your
got this.
sign,
I got the sign from that was in
yeah.
our Miles got one and I got the other. We were sprinting for that, even though there was two. I don't know why we were sprinting because we both could have gotten one.
So I mean, it's just things like that. I think they're just like, if somebody's in your house later on, like, what's that all about? You just now I don't know what to do with the banner. I think what we're going to do is take a
Probably hang
picture.
in mom's office and just like kind of put it around.
Yeah, you could do that. You know what? You should put it around. What you should do. I just know you were there. We should do the show from up there.
It's mom's office. She's working half the time until I get my desk and right there, you can't do
Oh,
anything.
okay. All right. Well, either way, then you can put it around there. I think it looks cool. Well, listen, I don't even know what time it is because I can't even look on my.
It is 9:39 your time.
Yeah. Okay. So that's an hour. So we really appreciate everybody checked in. Uh, Make sure we'll post the show because YouTube made some kind of change so that you
So
can't.
Facebook made a change.
I'm
Hopefully
sorry,
I
Facebook.
saved this. I'm not completely sure because I forgot to start recording it right when we did it because somebody was late.
Oh, sorry. Well, anyway, we are thinking about when we first did, we put on YouTube. So we have to go back and think that if that's what we're going to do, we should do again because Facebook made a change, which is
They
fine.
delete the lives almost like in you have 30 days and then that's it. And then they're all off. So all of our previous shows and lives that were on before
We're
are
gone.
no longer there.
Yeah, so we have
And
to
what we
figure
did.
out how we're going to do that and how we incorporate that in uh with either I don't know. I know I have a YouTube page, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Cause I have my fitness journey didn't go as good as I thought it was going to go in China. I thought I was going to lose weight.
You know what? And he's trying to blame it on us.
Why am I blaming? I didn't say it was your
Because
fault.
you said, why did you tell me I was eating too many peanut butter sandwiches? I tried. I even looked at you and
Oh,
was
oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
"That's enough."
You just could have told me I was eating
No,
too
I said
much.
to you, I said, don't you think that's enough? So what are you talking about? I ain't eating a lot. I was like, okay, I'm not
Well,
gonna.
I didn't think I was. I was
You
eating the.
get mad at me when I tell you about stuff like that, so I just don't do it anymore.
So I was sitting there. I gained weight. So now I got my 61st birthday coming up.
60 what now?
65th.
Yeah, you said 61st.
Oh yeah, well, whatever. I'll lie when I get close. 65th birthday, so I'm trying to get in the best shape that I can get into. So I just want no contest stuff like bodybuilding in the past or anything like that. But just trying to slim up a little bit, just to kind of eat right and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how it goes. I took a couple pictures in China, but it didn't look too good. So I have to see. But maybe that's what I want. They don't want to look too good. So then 2 months from now, maybe it's a big improvement. I don't know.
Okay.
So just stay tuned for that. So
Trying to get my arms a little bit bigger so they fit in my uniform so I don't flop it in the wind.
uh yeah. Well. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get out of here because it's gonna be close to my bedtime.
It's your bedtime. Oh, I gotta call you then because I got an idea.
Is it gonna get me in trouble?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sometimes. So
What if my idea's gotten you in trouble?
I don't know. So I'm just saying. So all right, everybody. You're from Pennsylvania and Florida. Uh, go fast.
Turn left.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.